Hey guys, it's Sami, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Friday, and that means tonight was Friday Night Smackdown. As far as tonight's Smackdown does go, it was a lot better than last week's show. I was going to say something different, but it just didn't come out right. I don't know. I will say right now, this show tonight, way better than last week's show. So much better than last week's just awful Smackdown. But they did a lot to build up for tomorrow. They did a little to build up to the future as far as the U.S. title does go. I don't know what's going on with Nakamura and why he wasn't there, it seems. They did the little video of Nakamura, but then at the same time, it's like, why are they going to do a number one contender series to just crown the same guy that was the number one contender, It makes no sense. I don't know. They needed a daggum way to say we can't do the match with Nakamura, but we're still going to do LA Knight Nakamura going forward. Like, I don't know what all that was. Hopefully we find out here eventually. But yeah, I had some people send me messages like, I think it's this. And I'm like, well, okay, cool. But you don't know. So don't, like, I don't know. I had some people try to theorize in the DMs, and I'm just like, okay, cool. But I'm not going to say any of that outside of this DM because A, you're not a source, you're just a random fan, and B, there's no facts to back up that that's the reason. One person did give a pretty logical reason why maybe Nakamura didn't go to the show, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, regardless, we got a lot to talk about as far as tonight's show does go. Also, if you did not see the kickoff show for Elimination Chamber earlier in the day, you missed nothing. You literally missed nothing. They slapped that thing together last minute, it felt like. They did it inside the arena when the fans were just getting to their seats. They had virtually no crowd, kind of. Like, it was 20 people maybe standing there. And then the biggest thing was all the women except for Alexa Bliss brawled, which led to the 6-woman tag on tonight's show. So it's like, I sat here and I watched this for 30, 40 minutes or whatever it was, and it was a waste of time. It was a waste of time. So if you didn't watch it, you don't need to go back and see it at all. Yeah, with all of that, and sorry, my eyes have been watering so bad today. I don't know why. Might have been. Got a haircut today, as you guys can see. Oh, got to really do something with it. And I may have got some hair in my eyes. I haven't washed it since the haircut. And, when you get all those random, hairs coming off of it. I was in a shower after I did this podcast. But, so maybe I got a hair in my eye or something, and that's why it's been watering. Anyways, with that, I want to say thank you for joining us here at twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or by donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month. And I greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember to go help us over on YouTube. You can help us out by by subscribing to the channel. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we go to the post to the community tab. Also, remember you can help us out by subscribing to the channel, one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription. Nope, I just did the wrong thing. Wow, my mind is so off right now. I apologize for that. Remember, you can support as a channel member by hitting the join button, where you get access to emotes and emojis, graphics tutorials, graphics packages. You get our Q&A, which will be up tomorrow. I said it was going to be up today, but it will be up tomorrow morning, the Q&A. And then you also get our watch-alongs. We did not do the Elimination Chamber watch-along because I had some things go on work-wise this week that didn't let it happen, non-wrestling work-wise. So I will do a make good for that. And in March, you will get 2 watch-alongs. We'll still do an Elimination Chamber, and then we'll figure out what the other watch-along is going to be. But in March, you will get 2 watch-alongs, at least. Maybe I'll do a third as a super make good. And And remember, you get all of that either on YouTube as a member or patreon.com/PW Unlimited. And remember, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. Actually, I just got a really good idea for a watch along. All right. Okay. I got an idea. So I'm going to keep that under wraps. But I just got a really good idea that I think will be really cool. And it has to do with, I'll just give you this hint. It has to do with a Monday Night Raw from, I want to say, 1999. 1999. All right, cool. Anyways. Also, remember, if you want to support the channel, you can do so by heading over to the Epic Game Store. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited, at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Maybe you're getting Spider-Man 2, because that is now on PC. Maybe you're getting in on some other PlayStation games that you can get on PC, or you're getting in on that new Lawless season for Fortnite that just dropped 1 week ago. If you're getting that Battle Pass, go PWU NLIMITED for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. All right, let's see. Free games. Mages of Mysteria. Haven't heard of that one before. Ooh. Them's Fighting Herds are free next week. That's a good one. Not sure about Mages of Mysteria. Haven't heard of that myself, but Them Fighting Herds. That's fun. I played that game. And that's a fun one. For sure. It's like a Street Fighter, or it's a fighting game, like a Street Fighter or a and my brain just went Tekken, Mortal Kombat, but it's with like animals, mainly like goats and llamas, and I want to say unicorns maybe, and reindeer and stuff. Very fun, very different and fun. But with all of that, as we refresh the notes here, because for some reason Google Docs likes to freeze. I will say, good Smackdown, but again, it felt long. We got to that third hour, and I'm like, holy shit, we still have another hour. To the point where I'm sitting here going, hold on. And I scroll back to my notes, and I go, oh my God, yes. I had forgotten that Trish Stratus opened the show. Like, that's how long this show felt when we had about 45 minutes left. Because I was like, what opened the show? I can't remember. And so I scrolled in my notes, and I was like, oh my God, it was Trish. So, like, when they say, oh, these Smackdowns, they feel long. They feel so long that you forget what you're watching. You forget what's on the show. Anywho. Joe Tessitore welcomes us to Toronto, and we get a recap of The Rock appearing last week. Cody Rhodes was shown walking backstage, and a couple of dudes came up to him and said, we want to bring you to your locker room. You got a special locker room tonight, courtesy of the Final Boss. He's like, oh, really? Okay. So then they introduced her Stratus, and she makes her way down to the ring. This was fun, but it wasn't great. I will just say that. And for some reason early on, Trish kind of came off a little, I don't know if I want to say heelish, but she had a little bit of a cockiness to her when she's talking about, hey, little girl, I bet your daddy had a poster of me on his wall. I'm like, Trish, no. What? Anyways, we get thank you, Trish chants as she stands in the ring. Trish appeared to get a little emotional. The crowd cheered her, complete with another round of thank you, Trish chants. Stratus thanked Lillian Garcia for the introduction and asked the crowd what year it is, considering how long she's been doing this and that The Rock was around as well. Stratus then pointed at a little girl in the crowd, and this is when she said, your dad probably had a poster of me on the wall. And then they go to some guy, and he's like, I don't know if he's trying to say, yes, I did on my, I don't know. Stratus then talked about tomorrow, stating that tomorrow night at the Elimination Chamber, when she teams with Tiffany Stratton, it will actually be the first time that her two boys will get to watch her wrestle live. Like, be there in the building watching her as she's getting to wrestle in the ring, which I'm like, Well, that's cool. That's really cool, which makes me think, because I'm like, they haven't before? Ain't her son like 8, 9, 10 or something like that? But then you got to think, since Trish has, been wrestling, say over the last decade, how many times has it been in Toronto? Like, she doesn't take the kids with her. They don't travel with her, is what it seems like. So that could be why they don't go on the road with her when she's doing all these other shows in like the US and whatnot. So I said that she was beyond excited to be teaming with Tiffany Stratton. With that in mind, she introduces Tiffany Stratton. And this is when things got a little like, oh, Lord. So Trish came down and she was wearing a Maple Leafs jersey that had a 25 on it, and it said Trishy on the back. Tiffany then comes down in a Maple Leafs jersey that's got a 41 on it. I assume WrestleMania 41, and it says Tiffy on the back. And so they get in the ring and they're like, you know what time it is? And they're like, it's Trishy time and it's Tiffy time. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so bad. This is so bad. And then Trish is like, you know what we should do? You know what? We should take these jerseys off, throw them into the crowd. We should give some people something to take home. And I'm like, oh, okay then. And so they take the jerseys off. Of course, they're wearing other things under it. Tiffany's in her wrestling gear. Trish has got the Trish Stratus shirt on. So they throw them into the crowd. They say they're going to beat Nia and Candice tomorrow. And out comes the United States champion, Chelsea Green, with Piper Niven. The Green said, quote, nobody wants Dumb and Dumber hogging the airtime. And the crowd actually breaks out into a Chelsea chant. Green said that she's the best thing to step into the arena tonight. She also took a shot at Austin Matthews. Green then said, I left Canada for better things. It's called America that I'm the champion of. So she starts, I guess you could say, talking down Canada, but talking up America. And I was just waiting. Like, she's talking all these things like, America's better for this, America's better for that. I was just waiting, and I wish she would have said it. To be like, oh, and I married an American. That would have been great. But, where was I? So they're all talking, and eventually Tiffany goes, you know what, Chelsea? I am American, and you don't represent me. But you know what we can do? Well, you and me have a match right now. And she's like, oh, yeah, that doesn't work for me. I've got other plans. And so Trish goes, no. Let's make this match right now. Nick Aldis, if you agree, send a referee. And Chelsea, gets up on the ropes, and she's like, Nicholas, don't do it. Nicholas, don't send a referee. Nicholas, no. And a referee comes out. I think it was Brian Tran, maybe. And so we do get, and the U.S. crowd only saw about 3 minutes of this. But if you're watching on Netflix, you got all of it. And there wasn't much to it at all. At all. It was Tiffany versus Chelsea, champion versus champion. It was just okay. So they're going back and forth at the beginning. Not much really until we get to, what the everybody sees on the USA Network. So if you're watching on the USA Network, which I was watching on Netflix, if you want to know how to watch on Netflix in the US, we've got a video up on our channel, how to get a free VPN that'll work on your phone. It'll work on your browser. I haven't tested it on a Fire Stick or anything yet, though. But free VPN that lets you watch international Netflix. All these people that say, oh, subscribe NordVPN with our code. Subscribe Surfshark with our code. You don't need to do any of that. It's free. Free VPN. Go watch the video. I'd show you exactly how to do it. And I think I'm going to do an updated one about doing it on a Fire Stick, and then an updated one on, or maybe I'll do a Fire Stick and mobile device, because that one is only about on your computer through the browser. Anyways, Stratton had the upper hand. Stratton landed her gymnastics flip routine splash in the corner, then went for a double stomp, but Green moved and came back with a leaping leg drop for a 2. Stratton then came right back with a double stomp instead of for the prettiest moonsault ever, but Piper pulled Green out of the ring. Stratton then hit a dive onto Niven and Green on the outside, and Stratton landed hard, like last week, hard. Nia and Candice then showed up and attacked Stratus and Stratton, and it just ended the match in DQ. So, yeah. This was not good. This was not good at all. Jackson set up for her finish on Tiffy, but Stratus interfered and made the save. Stratton set up for a moonsault on Larray, but Jax pulled her to safety, and there we go. Cool. So if you were unaware, they announced earlier in the day, no Nakamura LA Knight title match. LA Knight says he's the number one contender, but Nakamura thinks he doesn't deserve it and hasn't earned it. So we're going to make him earn it. We're going to have three singles matches. The winners will then move on to a triple threat to become the true pure number one contender for the United States Championship. Spoiler alert, it was LA Knight. And so, it was, and I have it written down right here, LA Knight and Santos Escobar, Braun Strowman and Carmelo Hayes, Solo Sikoa and Andrade. Well, it was supposed to be Solo. And that leads us to our next segment. So Solo was walking backstage and he runs into Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga, who said, what happened last week was an accident. Sikoa said, what happened last week made him realize his family needs to make a statement. Sikoa said that he wants Fatu to bring home the United States Championship. So I'm giving you my opportunity. I'm letting you take my spot in this little tournament. Jacob, it's because I love you. So Jacob Fatu will now face Andrade. As we move forward, Cody was shown in his fancy locker room. There's fancy food and wine and all kinds of things, including R-Truth, who popped up and said maybe Cody should think about teaming with The Rock. Truth told Cody not to, quote, not to be shellfish. Cody invited Truth to eat more. He's like, oh, yeah, the shrimp there. And then cool. And then Truth's like, oh, thank you, man. You think next time you can tell The Rock, get us some jelly rolls? I was like, okay. Anywho, well, we had an 8.5-minute match. Jacob Fatu versus Andrade. I like this. I thought this was good. Might have been the best match of the night. A loud Fatu chants from the crowd in Toronto. Fatu shoulder blocked Andrade to the canvas. Fatu went for a splash, but Andrade moved and eventually went to the top, where he connected with the crossbody. The action spilled to the outside, and Andrade hit a moonsault on Fatu as we go to a break. The show returned, and Fatu was the victim of a poison Rana to reset things. Both guys eventually got to their feet, and Andrade hit a series of clotheslines and a flying forearm. Andrade set up for a double knee, but Fatu threw his body at Andrade and took him out. Fatu chants from the crowd. Fatu then went for a hip attack, but Andrade moved and kicked Fatu in the head. Andrade then finally did connect with a running double knees. He followed this up with a double moonsault and then a near fall. The crowd chants, this is awesome. Andrade then set up for his finish, but Jacob countered and sat on Andrade. Fatu then followed this up with a pair of hip attacks and an impaler DDT. Fatu then hit his jump up moonsault, pinned him, and got the victory. Live crowd loved this. I loved this. This was great. Andrade, Jacob Fatu, run it back. Give it to me again. I could watch this match over and over. Let me get footage from earlier in the day where the Street Profits spoke with Nick Aldis, and the Profits said that they won't stop what they're doing until they get a shot at the tag titles. In comes Legado del Fantasma. They showed up, and Santos Escobar wanted an apology for falsely accusing them of attacking the Profits. Dawkins said that they won't apologize for anything. Aldis made the Profits versus Los Garza for later tonight. The Street Profits were making their entrance for the match when, well, they were attacked by DIY again. Los Garzas then got in on things, and Profits bounced back and stomped a mud hole in DIY. Pretty Deadly then ran out and attacked the Profits. Gargano and Ciampa then came back to life and attacked Pretty Deadly. Motor City Machine Guns then ran out, and we just got all the teams going at it. All the teams fighting. Eventually, Motor City Machine Guns and the Profits got their hands on each other, but only briefly. WWE officials weirdly just stood around and watched and watched and watched until they eventually, kept on watching and then did something. Even so, there's so many different little brawls pocketed around here. Kind of eventually they were just like, okay, we got to get order here. Let's go to the back. Drew McIntyre runs into Cody Rhodes in the back and said that he doesn't know what he'd do if he was in Cody's position regarding The Rock. Drew told Cody that The Rock will find out that Cody actually sold his soul a long time ago, and then Drew walked off. Who was Drew talking about? Like, who did Cody sell his soul to a long time ago? I don't know. Tony Khan? Is that a reference to Tony Khan? They make another reference to his time in AEW later with The Miz and the Go Big Show, but I don't know. Who did he sell his soul to, chat? Let me know if you know. Who did Cody, a long time ago, according to Drew, sell his soul to? Anyways, John Cena Elimination Chamber video, but it's interrupted by Drew McIntyre. McIntyre's walking through the crowd. He goes into the ringside area and sits on the announce table, calling Cena a hypocrite. McIntyre stood on the table as well and called out everyone for not talking about Cena over the past handful of weeks. McIntyre then sat on the table, CM Punk style, and tried to do like a pipe bomb. This eventually did bring out Damian Priest, though. Priest walked into the ring and told McIntyre, enough's enough. You're delusional. McIntyre, all you do is McIntyre said all he does is tell the truth. And Priest said that our truth tells more truth than Drew McIntyre. The Priest talked about how because Drew has a weird obsession with Punk, Drew lost his WWE Championship. Priest called Drew out for looking like Punk in the way he sat, and Drew is just like obsessed. He said it a couple of times. You're obsessed. Crowd starts chanting for CM Punk. Drew then stands up on the table. Priest said he once dropped McIntyre in the arena they are in, and he'll do it again if Drew just stepped through the ropes. From there, out comes Seth Rollins. Seth comes down. The crowd starts singing a song as Rollins stepped into the ring. Rollins then thanked Toronto and said that he wanted to join in on the party as Priest and McIntyre. We're talking about Elimination Chamber. Rollins called McIntyre's Money in the Bank cash-in the worst of all time and said that, well, it won't be the same. It won't be the same Seth Rollins tomorrow that had to hobble down at WrestleMania last year. Rollins said that nobody stands a chance against him tomorrow in the Elimination Chamber, and out came CM Punk. Punk stood at ringside, and this reminded me of that 2019 pre-Elimination Chamber promo on Smackdown with all the guys in the ring. And then Joe outside the ring talking crap to everybody. Remember when he says, like, Randy, I'm going to devein you and it ain't going to come out of nowhere? Jeff Hardy tells him to shut up. He goes, Jeff, stop talking. How about you treat this like an AA meeting and just listen? I love that promo so much for the sole fact that it's great. Like, Samoa Joe's amazing, but it breaks Randy Orton to the point where Randy is like almost on his knees. He's laughing so hard. Like, if you haven't seen this or you just haven't watched it in a while or forgot about it, go watch this promo. It's all over the internet. But he runs down Joe, every person in the ring, talks crap on him, and that's what Punk did tonight. Punk started with Rollins and told him he looked like an oven mitt. Punk said that he has no personal issues with Damian Priest, but Priest is going to be collateral damage when he goes to win the Chamber tomorrow. Punk said that Drew and Seth are obsessed with him. Punk is obsessed with having his WrestleMania main event. Excuse me. Punk said that Drew, well, you don't have a soul to sell, referring to Cody and The Rock. He's like, because I destroyed it in Hell in a Cell. Punk then called out how Cena hasn't shown up for days on this, quote, retirement tour, and said, God bless for him. Rollins said that Punk will not main event over his dead body. Drew said that he owes Seth one, and he owes Punk. And Priest chimed in saying, after Chamber, and it's going to be me, and this, that, and the internet's going to, and all Drew's going to do is go on the internet and complain. Seth then said all of Punk's chants will die along with Punk and his Mania dreams. And then John Cena's music hits, and this place erupts. Because we think, oh my God, and I even did, I went like, just like this. I'm sitting here and I'm watching, and they go, wait, he's here? John Cena? He's here? He's in. It wasn't John Cena. It was god dang Logan Paul screwing with everybody. Paul comes out and he gets booed big time, and that was awesome. Actually thought that was awesome. Paul said that John Cena doesn't care about Canada. And he stood there in the entranceway. Paul said that Cena can't show up because he's, quote, classic celebrity wrestler, which was funny because that's what he kind of is considered at times. Anyways, Paul called out Punk and then went at Rollins and said, "Were you the peacock of WWE?" Paul said Rollins was wearing curtains. Paul went to Drew and said that he can't win a championship just like the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oof, ah. Paul then flat calls out Priest irrelevant, which I'm like, oh, yeah, he might be a little bit. Paul then talked to Punk again and said, "Hey, I'm going to slap you around tomorrow." Speaking of slap you around, how's your chin feel? Your jaw from this past Monday? Punk goes, "Oh, it's feeling really good. You want to come see?" And he goes to walk up the ramp. He goes to chase down Logan Paul, and Paul goes, "Play John's music. Play John's music." And they don't play no music. He goes, "Please play my music." And he just runs off. And the segment ends. So, yeah. It's just basically, hey, here's everybody but John Cena in the chamber tomorrow. So, yeah. Kind of a nothing happening segment in retrospect if you really, really think about it. The footage of the women fighting at the chamber kickoff show earlier today, which they tell us, hey, this is leading to a 6-woman tag. This then leads to LA Knight versus Santos Escobar in an 11-minute match. To be honest, really good match to where I thought this was a better LA Knight match than we normally get because he worked, it felt like, I could be wrong here, I felt like he worked more of Escobar style than his normal LA Knight basic style. So Escobar and Knight traded control early on in the first couple of minutes. Knight went for his jump up elbow drop early, and Escobar moved and eventually found his way to the outside of the ring where Knight went for his little sliding drop kick thing, but Escobar moved. Knight kind of landed weird, where like he was off kilter for a second, and then he got thrown into the steel steps as we go to commercial break. Back from the break, Escobar chopped Knight inside the ring. Knight came back with a slap of his own. The two traded blows until Escobar kicked the Knight's leg and followed that up with a headbutt. Knight came back with a leaping neck breaker for a 2. Escobar ran Knight's head into the middle turnbuckle and worked on Knight's arm. Knight fired up and slammed Escobar. Knight followed that up with an elbow and a setup for a BFT, but Escobar countered and eventually tripped Knight. Escobar then placed Knight on the top rope, and Escobar hit a Frankensteiner from the top for a near fall. Escobar then kicked Knight in the head a couple of times, actually. As he went to the top, he jumped off at Knight. Knight caught him with the BFT in midair and pinned him 1, 2, 3. Really cool finish here. I liked it. This now tells us, hey, Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, well, they've advanced. Then we get this great Sami Zayn Kevin Owens segment. Oh boy, I can't wait for this match. These two are really promising that they're going to beat the ever-loving crap out of each other harder than they ever have before. And I'm just like, oh my God. This was, oof, I can't wait. So Zayn came down to the ring, got some cheers and whatnot from the crowd. Zayn said it'd be an understatement to say that he and Kevin Owens had been through a lot together. Zayn said that he knows for a fact that Owens is in Toronto tonight, and as such, he wants Kevin to come down to the ring and face him face to face. Owens' voice then is heard, but he's not seen. We then see that he is in a ring, but not in the Scotiabank Arena, in the Rogers Center, where we will see the Elimination Chamber tomorrow night. Also, it's funny, on the kickoff show, Trish was on it. Michael Cole's like, what does it feel like to be able to wrestle in the Rogers Center tomorrow for the first time since like WrestleMania 18? And she goes, well, actually, Cole, we still call it the Sky Dome. And I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds like us Lakers fans. We don't say Crypto.com Arena. We still say the Staples Center. If you're from LA or you're a Lakers fan, or even if you're from California, like, you know, Staples Center. It's not Crypto.com Arena for us. It's the Staples Center. It'll always be the Staples Center. Anyways, Owen said that tonight will be the biggest, or tomorrow night will be the biggest match they've ever had against one another, especially in Canada. Owens said that he is not the bad guy, and it is odd that Sami has got people thinking that. He said, what happens tomorrow, Sami deserves. Owens said that after Saturday, when Sami is stuck in a wheelchair and no longer able to provide for his family, he's not going to feel bad. He's actually going to watch Sami's family suffer. Zayn said that he's been nervous all week, but not about what might happen to him, but what might happen to Kevin and what he's going to do. Zayn said that he's nervous that Owens' parents and his wife, well, won't be able to forgive him after what he does to Kevin tomorrow night. And I'm just like, what kind of fucking crazy ass shit do these two guys have for this match? Like, oh my God, what kind of crazy shit do they have planned? Remember, it's unsanctioned. There's no rules. The only reason there's a ref there is to count a pin somewhere in this building. So this is going to be crazy. Zayn said if they don't forgive him, he can live with that because he's prepared to end Kevin Owens. Owens said that he'd see Zayn tomorrow, and they ended the segment. Like, there's not a lot to the segment, but yeah, I'm hyped for this match. Like, I'm hyped up for this match big time. So the Miz is backstage with Melo. They're talking about how, Melo's got his opportunity tonight against Braun Strowman. Miz thinks he's going to win. Actually, Miz knows he's going to win. And Miz, then, Melo leaves and Miz runs into Cody. Miz is like, hey, I'm from Hollywood, and I can tell you right now, Rock does run Hollywood. Miz said that the audience doesn't get it because they see Cody as the face of the company. But they both know Cody is more and wants more. You're more than just a fourth judge on a failed reality show. And I'm like, oh, shot at the Go Big Show. Shot at the Go Big Show where it was him. Oh, I'm trying to think. So first season, it was him, Snoop, Jennifer Nettles, and who plays freaking Rosario Dawson. Then the second season, Snoop said, I'm out, and they brought in T-Pain. And then they didn't even go past the second season that I can remember. So Miz said the only way Cody can get it is if he takes Rock's offer. And he knows that The Rock can help Cody get to higher things. Miz then introduces the idea that someone else could also take The Rock's offer. Take The Rock's offer if Cody doesn't. And I'm like, that is a compelling way to think about it. If Cody tells The Rock no, does The Rock go recruit somebody else? Or does somebody else try to weasel their way in or try to say, Rock, Cody didn't want you, but I'll work with you and I'll take him out for you because he turned you down. Just saying. This then led to a minute and a half. Carmelo Hayes, Braun Strowman, it ends in a DQ. Cool. Okay, whatever. Strowman threw Melo around. Melo rolled to the outside. Strowman went to the outside, running shoulder block. Tore off his shirt, and then was attacked by Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa. Referee didn't see any of this because Tama Tonga distracted the referee. Strowman was hit with a chair, but no-sold the chair. Strowman then threw Tama Tonga over the commentary table. Back in the ring, Melo had the chair, played the Eddie Guerrero spot where it looked like the chair was, hit. He threw the chair back to Strowman. Referee then goes, you used the chair? Oh, you used the chair? You're DQ'd. Ref didn't even see it. He saw nothing. Stupid ass ref. The DQ Strowman, Melo wins. This was dumb. This sucked. So anyways, Bayley, Bianca Belair, and Naomi are talking backstage. They're all just like, yeah, we're going to take out all the other women in the chamber. Then if it comes down to the three of us, well, we'll see who's the better woman. And Bianca's like, it's me, because I'm going to go in main event WrestleMania. And then she goes to walk off, and Bayley grabs her bread and goes, not if it's me. And Naomi grabs the bread and goes, or me. I thought that was kind of funny. This then led to a 9-minute 6-woman tag. Roxanne Perez, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez taking on the team of Bayley, Bianca Belair, and Naomi. I'm going to say it right now, Roxanne Perez is going to be a star, a mega star on the main roster once she's done in NXT and full-time up here. And going back to the kickoff show, Roxanne Perez was on the kickoff show and talking about, I've done this in NXT and I've done this in NXT. And Bayley comes out and literally told her, yeah, I did all that too in NXT. And none of that mattered for my career until I did all that again on Raw, and I did all that again on SmackDown. So until you're here doing those things, have fun. So I'm like, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. It's like, yeah, you can have great accomplishments in NXT, but it's not till you make it to the main roster and have great success on the main roster where it really matters. And so I don't know where this is going. I assume a Bayley Roxanne match, maybe Stand and Deliver, maybe WrestleMania. I would prefer rather WrestleMania. So we'll see. So Morgan and Naomi brawled to start things off. Naomi drop-kicked Morgan into the corner, and Morgan rolled to the outside. Ultimately, all 6 women got in the ring, and a fight broke out. Morgan and Naomi were still the legal women, and Morgan rolled to the outside, where Bayley tagged herself in, hit a splash on Morgan to the outside. Bayley did the same to Perez on the outside, and Rodriguez on the outside as well. Bayley then pointed to the WrestleMania sign, and then the show went to a commercial break. When the show returned, Rodriguez was working Bayley, who ultimately got the tag to Belair, who flew in and off the top worked over Rodriguez at this point. Belair suplexed Rodriguez and fired the crowd up with a handspring moonsault for a 2. Naomi tagged in, and Belair hit some type of a odd-looking backbreaker on Liv. Rodriguez then lifted Naomi and slammed Naomi off onto the top rope. Perez then tagged herself in and threw Naomi into the corner, where Naomi kicked Perez in the head. Looked like it connected a little bit too. Bayley then tagged in and landed an elbow drop from the top on Perez, but Morgan broke up the pin. Things then broke down, and Rodriguez and Naomi fought on the outside. Perez and Bayley were alone in the ring going at it when Perez hit the Pop Rocks and pinned Bayley. After the match, Perez pointed at the Mania sign. Alexa Bliss came out and attacked her and hit her with his sister Abigail. So yeah, Roxanne gets the pin over Bayley. And now here's the thing. It's like, I assume one eliminates the other from the chamber. So either Bayley eliminates Roxanne or Roxanne eliminates Bayley. Or, as I said the other night, it could go this way. We've seen this before. Bayley eliminates Roxanne. Roxanne gets super mad and attacks Bayley, beats her down before she exits the chamber, which then leads to Bayley's elimination as well moments later. But I do think this is all leading to some sort of a match over Mania weekend. Again, whether that's WrestleMania or Stand and Deliver. Byron Saxton interviewed Charlotte Flair backstage. He asked about Tiffy's tag match tomorrow with Trish Stratus at the Elimination Chamber. Charlotte's like, yeah, they're a cute team. But once the smoke clears, Tiffany's got a big problem. And that's me. WrestleMania. We then get a woo. And the segment ends. Brief, short, to the point. Hey, don't forget Charlotte's challenging at Mania. We then get a Shinsuke Nakamura vignette with subtitles. He said he will humiliate whoever is his next challenger. Quote, the other dogs will see what happens when you bite my hand. I'm like, cool. Seemed menacing and evil. Jacob Fatu then cut a promo, walking to the ring, and said the U.S. title is coming to him. Fatu then yelled, hit my music, as he made his way through Gorilla. Fatu made his entrance alone, and we got our main event of the night. Well, main event match. It was LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Jacob Fatu in a 12.5-minute match. Knight hit Fatu and sent him into Melo near the beginning of the match. Knight hit a bulldog on Fatu from the second rope, but Fatu popped right back up. Knight threw Fatu to the outside and slammed Melo. Knight then hit the jumping up elbow on Melo. Fatu got involved and threw Knight to the floor. From Fatu then headbutted Knight and slammed Melo against the apron. Melo fought back against Fatu, and Fatu punched the hell out of Melo. Knight then reinserted himself into the brawl, proceeding with ultimately being thrown into the crowd by Fatu. Fatu then tried to tackle Knight and Melo through the barrier, but they both moved, and Fatu went flying. The show went to a commercial break. Back from the break, Knight and Melo did team up at one point on Fatu, but Fatu wasn't having it. Knight then hit a BFT on Fatu, but at the same time, Melo landed the first 48 on Knight for a nice near fall on Knight. Melo went to the top, but Knight pushed Melo onto Fatu, who was on the outside. All this resulted in Knight hitting a springboard splash on Fatu into the commentary table. Melo then rolled Knight back into the ring and went to the top. Melo hit the nothing but net on Knight and should have won here, but Fatu broke up the pin. From there, Fatu hit his moonsault on Melo, was going for the pin. Knight then grabbed him, hit Melo with the... No, I wrote this wrong. It's not what it was. Give me 2 seconds. That's what it was. Okay. I'm trying to remember from memory here because I wrote this way wrong. This sentence makes no sense. I don't know what I wrote. So Fatu went for the pin. LA Knight pulled him out of the ring, jumped on him, and stole the victory, basically. So LA Knight, sneaky, gets one in. For some reason I wrote, hit his move and won. He didn't. That's why I'm like, wait, hit his move and won? I wrote that weird. So yeah, LA Knight will challenge Nakamura in the future for the U.S. title. Like, we did all that to get to where we already were. I'm not a big fan of that one. Cody Rhodes walking backstage. He runs into CM Punk, who asked Cody what Rock was really wanting with his soul and what it means. Punk said if it was, he said if he was young, he'd probably have taken it. But now, he's happy. The offer didn't come his way. Punk told Cody, take Rock's offer. Shine it up real nice, turn it sideways, and shove it up Rock's candy ass. Punk then told Cody he will win the chamber and see Cody in the main event of WrestleMania. This then leads to our main event segment with Cody, Michael Cole, and technically The Rock. Michael Cole stood in the ring and introduced the undisputed WWE champion, Cody Rhodes. Cody shook Cole's hand and hugged him. We got about, 5 to 7 minutes left at this point. Cole said there was a lot to talk about. The crowd starts chanting for Cody. Cole said that Cody will have to make a decision on if he, sells out to The Rock. Cole said that Cody Rhodes, knew. Wait. Hold on. Cole said that Cody Rhodes, he knew. Okay, I missed a word there. I'm like, wait, what did I write? I missed a word. He knew. I just put Cody knew. Cody Rhodes that he knew would never take this offer. Talked about how Cody finished his story last year and did it for him and his family. Cole said that Cody was living up to the legacy of his father. Cody started to talk, and Cole said Cody was trying to deflect. Cole said Cody could be the corporate champion, and Rock could give Cody a seat on the TKO board. Cole said, quote, no more live events in small towns. And Cody could get rid of his bus and be home with his wife and daughter more. Cole stopped himself from talking and said that, he was being told that there was a special gift for Cody. And out comes a big Ford truck. Got the Nightmare logo on it and everything. And I'm like, Ford, but it's The Rock. You got to deal with Ford. Whatever. Video of The Rock is then shown with a similar truck on the screen. The Rock in the video told Cody that he will make the decision of a lifetime tomorrow. Rock said Cody will do the right thing. Rock told Cody that he should enjoy his gift because he knows Cody likes driving in the open, dangerous, beautiful, and dusty roads. Rock said that he's been talking to Cody's daddy all week, and he referenced Sturgill Simpson, which I'm like, oh wow, that's a deep cut. Rock then said he and Cody will embrace as brothers, and Cody will give Rock his soul at the chamber. Rock reiterated that all of Cody's dreams can come true. Rock revealed a weight belt that said Cody's soul with the date June 15th, 2015 on it, the date of his father's death. Rock said that he wants Cody to make Rock embrace him as his champion. Rock said, quote, I love you, brother. And then Rock's video ended. Cody looked even more conflicted than ever as this show went off the air. And I'm just like, he's not going to take the offer, right? He's not going to take it, is he? I don't think so. Now, I'm not going to talk about it here. You can go check it out on our channel. But there was a report last night on who is planned to win the chamber. Now, whether you want to believe it or not, go for it. But you can go see that video. Dr. Chris Featherstone had a report on the Sportskeeda Patreon. And so it's like, is the winner of the chamber If Cody says no, is the winner of the Chamber, Rock's new boy, going to help him against Cody? I don't know. But I'm getting the poll going on Twitch. If you're watching on Twitch, the poll is live. As we go check the other polls. Good episode of Smackdown. Not a great episode, but a good episode. So as far as the threads poll does go, 50% liked it. 50% thought it was just all right. Looking at the Twitter X poll, 77% liked the show. 11% thought it was just all right, and 11% didn't like it. Looking at the community poll, %80 liked the show, 15% thought it was just all right, and 5% didn't like it. As far as the live poll does go, 80% liked the show, 81% liked the show, 15% thought it was just all right, and 3% didn't like it. And finally, 50% liked it, 50% didn't on Twitch. With that, guys, that is going to wrap everything up. I want to say thank you for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. With that, we will be back live tomorrow night following the Elimination Chamber from the Rogers Center in Toronto, Canada. Should be a really fun show. So with that, have a great night. Have a great weekend. And I'll see you next time. Have a good one, guys. All right, if you're still watching live on Twitch, we're going to hit up a raid.